So I was watching back my November Plus digital diary video, and towards the end, I mentioned how I stopped studying, downloaded a dating app, and bought clothes and put a great deal of care into what I was wearing. And it felt like I was Susan from Narnia. That's how I felt watching back that video, because Susan goes to hell basically in the Narnia world because she gets really interested in lipstick boys and nylon. And this problem of Susan, which many people have talked about, has always struck very close to home for me because I feel like I'm constantly advocating for the products of lipstick feminism, you might call it. And people do call it that. I do advocate for boys, I do advocate for clothing, I advocate for both of these things as artistic mediums, as political acts, as extravagances that do not matter but also matter deeply as a woman to enjoy to the highest capacity that you can. But I feel like what all of this stuff has done has made me bedridden. I feel like the attention I've paid to wearing this or that outfit and entertaining something romantic with this or that boy, they have provided me pleasures that pale in comparison to what I really want out of life. And what I really want is to feel truly connected. And I thought that what I want is to feel connected to someone romantically. And I think it was then friendship. I thought what I wanted was to connect to someone platonically. But I think that what I really want is to be connected to myself. And what I'm feeling currently is a lack of control. And I'm finding it very hard to leave bed. And I hate living like this. It is so easy to keep living like this, but I hate it. So I'm going to try and stop. I had vitamins, chia seeds, apple cider vinegar, green tea, and lots of water. All of these things taste disgusting, but I thought that if I do these positive things for myself, the next steps would come easy. They didn't come easy, I don't think, because I went right back to bed. And what is a win is I didn't take my phone with me. The bed is a space which thrives off of something like the phone, because the bed is also a space conducive to Sith absolutes. It wants perfection, and when you don't have that outside, perfect extreme state you try to create is inside the bed by having extreme comfort of some sort. I tried reading, and then I stopped trying to read. I'm feeling kind of awful. Hugo's in Japan, I think, and why does this bother me? It bothers me because I think that it shows that he's kind of over me in some way. And then I look at my inbox and not many people are talking to me. And who is talking to me is this guy who's a bit younger than me. And I feel like it is a bit of a puncture to my ego that the real consistent romantic prospect of entertaining is some guy who isn't particularly respectable as a prospect because he's younger than me and he doesn't like himself very much. I've not been feeling very good about myself in terms of looks lately, and I've been spending a lot of time in bed. I've also been having thoughts that are very similar to the kind of thoughts that I was having when I was 14. I'm back in a particular family situation, in a particular dynamic with a brain that I've imported from Britain, a brain that I've imported from there, because over there in Britain, I was completely kind of checked out, and I feel like 1.5 year has gone by, and I'm kind of checked out, and there are moments of clarity, of course, between those. I have to give myself that. I mean, one really positive thing that happened recently was I danced. I think it made me feel better. It was really real. And I have moments when I'm dancing where it does feel really real. And what ends up being really difficult for me is fasting. I feel like what I want is the cleanness, the comfort that comes from a fast, and the sense of control, the sense of hope that emerges from doing that. What ends up happening is my head is like pounding and I have all these tasks to do, and then I end up just eating a lot at once because I can, and who's really going to stop me, because I really do lack self-control. Even this video, like, my self-esteem hasn't been the greatest lately. Like, so far, what I feel about this video is this is very boring. There are not any pictures, anything interesting done that is experimental or cool, or even a deviation form to what I usually do. It just feels like a very base, sparse video, and maybe that sparsity could be its strength, but I also worry that it's just a really boring video and don't know if I'm going to post this. There's so many things I want to do and I don't follow through with them. I want to improve my Russian and I don't improve my Russian. I want to fast and I don't fast. And I get carried away with just like pursuing absolute laziness. What am I supposed to do? I think write it down. Okay, I think I will write it down. I don't know how I'm going to replicate this next time. If I even manage to get out of the rut, it feels permanent somehow. But I'll write about it, I guess. For writing, I have this little notebook that I've been using. I have to get a new diary tomorrow probably. Haven't met my dad in ages, even though I've been home for ages, because I've just been in bed sleeping, so you'd think I'd be refreshed. No, I'm not refreshed. I'm more tired. I wake up more tired. So let's quote on Pinterest: "He who laughs lasts." There is, I suppose, something funny about the situation. Maybe if I think about what's funny about this situation, I will get some perspective. What is funny about it? Will I share with the rest of the class what's so funny? I can't think of what's funny about the situation, but I can tell you this. I feel like I saw this video of myself and I had a filter on, makeup on, had just taken a shower yesterday. And I saw this video and I thought, like, she looks pretty. Like, I'd entertain her. And then I was showering, I had another thought, that when you give up, having romantic partners that suck, it's not just like you're alone then. You get something in exchange for that. Like, you give up romantic partners that don't vibe with you, and then in exchange you get a sense of self, maybe. So, here's what I can do. My friend has to call me. I'm thinking I should just text her that I'm busy, or if I do speak to her, if she calls like soon, I'll speak to her. And then maybe I'll spend the rest of this diary just talking about how I'm feeling. And then tomorrow I can get some grapes, so I can have grapes to secure a new man for myself next year. And I can take out a diary, I can buy a new diary, and then I can maybe sit down and think about what I'm going to do next year, what the plan of action is. What does make me a little bit sad, to be honest, is the fact that I didn't achieve my vision board for 2025. And what did I do? What would I tell this girl? Yeah, you broke up with Tom and then you just got in a relationship with other guys. I think that would encourage her. Yeah, maybe it would. That was one of her fears, that she wouldn't be romantically validated. But how do I tell her that's like not enough? And sometimes it feels like I screwed up majorly by making outfits and boys my priority, when there is something deeper inside me that I constantly suppress because I'm afraid it won't be enough for me. Not the way boys and clothes are, that it won't be enough for me. Here's a book I want to read. It's called The Captive Mind. A lot of what I'm saying, it seems like in line with a lot of stuff I've heard about authoritarianism or totalitarianism. Don't know the difference. Maybe I should learn the difference. I was supposed to learn piano. That was a big investment. Lots of big investments made on me that I didn't return.